Good morning, everyone. EI Wednesday here on propanebuzz.com, but excited to announce a partner sponsor with Propane Buzz. That is Energy Distribution Partners. I want to tell you a little bit about them. I've known the leaders of this company for quite a while, really, as long as I've been in the industry, really. They've been growing both organically through acquisitions with a formula driven by the good old-fashioned values of trust and integrity, with a desire to protect your legacy, which I know is very important to many of you. I mean, I don't need to tell you. You can go to their website, which I have linked below, and you can read some testimonials of retail owners just like many of you, and also look for their banner on the website here in the coming days. Do yourself a favor. If you're even remotely thinking about selling your business in the next couple of years, give these guys a call or an email. They have the experience, and you can trust them. Let's get into today's work here that we have ahead of us. Looking at the energy report from the EIA, the inventory report, propane built 4.3 million barrels. As always with this, I'm kind of seeing it as you are seeing it. That puts inventories at 58.4 million barrels versus last year's 58.5. I want to be careful here because I screwed up last week in reading this. So we're basically at a dead heat now, year-over-year inventory build-wise from last year to this year. Based on some data that I read earlier this week from folks who they're in the business to know what's going on with exports, with propane production, things of that nature, they shared some interesting numbers. I'll get to more of that here in a second because I want to do this in context. So 58.4 million barrels. Wow, look at crude. 9.9 down from last week. That is a big number. That's all crude needs right about now is more fuel for their fire. I'll talk about that here in a minute as well. Let's scroll down and look for propane production. 1.917 million barrels per day, very robust, averaging 1.939 million barrels per day. Some folks thinking that's going to go higher as we get through the end of the summer. And let's now get to the export portion. 566,000 barrels per day of exports, nearly a 50% reduction from a week ago. I've been hearing that there could be some drop in exports, and I've written about that in recent weeks due to some potential cargo bay mechanical work or some upgrades that needed to take place down in some export facilities in Houston. Don't know if that's what this is, but that's a pretty significant drop, which leads to our 4.3 million barrels. Back up to production for a second this week, showing that it was at 1.917. I've seen some reports from folks estimating that this is going to be over 2 million barrels per day in propane production for the next 6 weeks at least. Probably should be expecting a minimum of 3 million barrel builds each and every week, which would be very, very significant. Probably could put us in the mid-90, somewhere between 90 to 100 million barrels of inventory by the time we get to the end of September, October, which would definitely be a bearish signal on propane fundamentals. Without a doubt, I continue to believe that propane fundamentals are bearish. But my gosh, you can only, row into the wind so long before you get fatigued because crude oil is just dominant. Let's go take a look at bears or bulls. Some of you saw this and made the announcement on Monday, a new page here at propanebuzz.com. Also, real quick before I talk about this and the crude factors, the very important crude factors here in our market, I want to remind many of you, seeing this for the first time, some of you are, we've moved to a subscription service. I'll still be doing this in a weekly write-up every Wednesday, free for everybody who's been receiving Propane Buzz for a number of years or a number of weeks or a number of months. You'll still get that communication piece from me every week at no charge. But the 15 to 20 content items each week that I'm going to be producing are now going to be for subscribers. And the subscriptions, very, very affordable. You can go to the subscription information page. You can see right here on propanebuzz.com. I have added, due to popular demand, an option for folks to I'll email you an invoice and you can mail me a check for the annual payment. So you can pay by check. I think it works better for some of you. But please check that out, and hope to have your support and have you along here. This bear or bullish page, as you can see here from the menu, the link right there to it, anybody can access that. I kind of list out what I'm seeing in the market right now with regards to impact. On the bears side, and bears means, downward risk, bulls means higher side risks. Propane inventories, as I mentioned, on pace for a very comfortable level, more than just comfortable. I mean, we were at 104 million barrels in 2015 and 2016. And last year we went into the winter somewhere around 82, and that's one of the reasons why prices were so much higher a year ago, because traders were concerned with how we would navigate the season with inventory levels so much lower than where we've been. We made it through just fine, and that's why I've been saying all spring, traders aren't going to fear the known, so that's why I think that the propane fundamentals are bearish, and the data is there. Propane fundamentals are bearish. We made that call correctly from several months ago. It's just we couldn't have predicted these things over here on the bullish side, an impending trade war with China. Nobody saw that coming in March and April. I certainly didn't. President Trump again talked about it more and more, and now we're facing almost, I think, July 7th deadline for when this could really come to the brink. That would include potential tariffs by the Chinese on their crude imports. The Chinese, they import 16% of American propane exports. They're the largest customer of American propane. That would be a risk if this trade war does indeed happen. The Venezuela economic and social strife reduction, their crude oil production is certainly overhanging the market. Potential reduction in Iranian crude oil production. That came to a head a little bit yesterday as crude oil prices spiked again yesterday afternoon, when there was some White House commentary that was made public that the United States government has reached out to all of their allies and asked them to lower their Iran crude imports to zero by November 5th. We'll see if those allies go along with it, but that's strong talk, and the market shot up a couple of dollars again yesterday with regards to crude oil. Then you have an outage at an oil sands facility in Canada, which is threatening to draw down Cushing, Oklahoma crude oil inventories, and that's where the majority of the United States crude oil stores are housed. At Cushing, Oklahoma, go to Google Maps and Google Cushing, Oklahoma, and you'll see all those crude oil fields. It's pretty amazing. It's about 45 minutes west of me where I live and record this here down in Oklahoma. So while you have other, bearish impacts, potentialities in the marketplace, the bulls and the importance, the significance of the bulls is outweighing the significance of the bears right now, and that's why you have prices moving higher. Yesterday, we saw, these are the daily averages up here where I'm highlighting, and let's move this down here a little bit, see if you can get a little reference. So, here's crude oil's numbers, 65, just back on the 18th, $65, 70.53 yesterday's close. Right now, it's trading at 72.33, probably on the heels of that big draw that we just highlighted. So it is popping, unbelievable. And here's where propane values were lower. Bellevue hasn't changed that much. You can see the general trajectory of value. This is for the month of June. This is Mont Bellevue prices. This is Conway prices. Obviously, there's a little bit of a parallel line there for them. Going in data out the curve. This is yesterday. These are generalizations of where propane's trading in the financial markets out into the future. This blue side shows, third quarter 18, fourth quarter 18, out to calendar year 2020. This green indicates yesterday was a big moving day. Prices moved up over 2 cents, nearly 2 cents in Q1 19. So this over here, this orange or gold, if you will, column, is each of the specific months in the coming 9 months after February 19. You saw a 2.5 cent change in June Mont Bellevue yesterday as far as some financial market options that people could buy. 2 cents in Conway. If it's in the green, it means it's up. Here's Conway, here's Bellevue. Looking at Bellevue June, 87.75. January Bellevue, 87.75. The same. So you've got a flat curve, which is probably a little bit of a bearish indicator. You definitely have a bearish indicator for Conway. Conway June's at 68.375 after 77.250 in January, and that's a market that's in contango, which is very much a bearish indicator. But hey, it's not a bearish indicator when you got prices rising, when you have crude oil doing what it's doing, Propane's fundamentals are telling us, hey man, prices should be going down. But everything else that's going on, especially crude oil, is saying no, not so fast. We're still the boss, and crude oil is our boss right now. It's either exports in the winter, or it's crude oil right now in the summer. It's geopolitical risk all around the world. All of these things drag propane around by its nose. And that's concerning. And that's why there's so much more risk involved in your propane pricing, your propane strategies right now than there has ever been before. There's so much more in-year risk, in-month risk. The volatility is incredible. And that's why I feel that I can help you. That's why I feel that either by you reading the daily communication pieces I put out on a regular basis, it's going to inform you, and an informed retailer is a more profitable retailer. Or if you want to go to the Tier 2 subscription, I'm your personal propane concierge, on-demand phone consultation. Whenever you want to call me, pick up the phone and call me. That's what I do for my Tier 2 clients, and help you navigate these very, very choppy waters. So I hope you come on board and give us a try. If you want to just give us a try, you can do a 1-month option, and you can take that point in time. If you feel comfortable and know me for a long time, come on board right now. Space is still there. Thank you for watching. Look forward to speaking with you next week. For those of you who are not subscribers, for those of you who are subscribers, you'll be getting a couple pieces from me here in the coming hours on this Wednesday, June the 27th. We'll talk to you soon.